So what we're going to be doing in this video is taking a spider suspension for a subwoofer and adding to it stitched tinsel leads. Now, I don't actually recommend stitching your own tinsel leads, not because it's particularly difficult, but because you can purchase the same tinsel spider with the tinsel leads already connected to it for minimal cost. Unfortunately, in this particular case, they didn't have the size spider I needed available with stitched tinsel leads, nor did they have the wrong size with double stitched tinsel leads. So what the problem I had with finding parts for the sub is that a 8.5 inch by 4 inch spider, so that's the outside diameter of this spider is 8.5 inches and the inside is 4 inches. Now the reason we do that is to fit over the 4-inch voice coil. Beautiful. Anyway, they didn't have that available, so I had to buy an 8.5 by 3-inch and then cut out the inside. So that I'm going to show you how to do that in the video. I'll show you how I did that. I'm going to sort of do a brief overview of the stitching process that I went through. Honestly, most of the information is the prep work. The actual stitching of it, you're just wrapping thread around a piece of through the holes in the spider plus around the tinsel leads and then gluing it. Anyway, that being said, we're gonna get started, and yeah, so here we go. So the first thing that we're gonna do with these is well, they're gonna go here on this massive ring. I'm trying not to shake my bench too much. I don't want anyone to throw up motion sickness or anything like that. I'm just gonna put this out of the way for the moment. I'm gonna take tinsel lead wire. That's this stuff here. You can get it on lots of different sites. They sell it on Amazon and eBay as well. I personally use LofB. It's my sort of go-to. Unless they don't have what I need, then I will order it from somewhere else. But for all my subwoofer parts, that's kind of where I usually get them. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna run 4 on each side, so it'll be. You can see that. You can't even see that. Okay, let's just start again. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be, number one, I'm going to be cutting out this center bit. I'm going to, just to reinforce it because it's not ideal, you have this large flat sort of brim portion that's going to be gone. I'm going to be gluing it around in one of the ridges. I think it's this lower ridge here. Anyway, so I'm going to have to remove all of this material. Not the best. What I'll do is I'll make triple ring joints on my 3D printer so that I can put them above and below and make sure that this is reinforced and has a nice sort of beveled surface for the spider to come connect to. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach 4 sets of wires, so it'll be 2 parallel strands to each side of each voice coil. So it's something like that. Anyway, this is a silly thing to try to demonstrate, but like this and like this. Anyway, what we do, first of all, that was stupid, don't care, is take this guy. This is our new voice coil, again, from LofB, because that's where I order my parts. And we're going to mark on here where the 4-inch trim point will be. We'll end up either cutting it away or removing it with, really need to get a paint marker, but anyway. So that's not gonna work. Anyway, we know where it is. It's right here. This is where we want to remove to. I don't know if this is going to be visible on camera, but I will take a shot of this so that hopefully you can get an idea of what I'm taking off of this thing to fit over this voice coil. As always, I make the opening a bit bigger. Even if this was going on a 3-inch voice coil, I'd still make it bigger to fit around the 3-inch so that it doesn't put any pressure on the coil. That way we don't have any sort of shifting when we glue it. So that's what we're going to remove. I'm not sure what the best way to do that's going to be. I'll probably go at it with a Dremel with a sanding bit on it. I think it's already on there, so that's what I'll do. I'm going to pause the camera and I'm going to start re-recording so that I can speed that up. So now I got the two cutouts done. Unfortunately, this one, which I'll put on the bottom, I made a little bit too big. It's not a huge big deal, but it is slightly bigger than what I would want. Nothing that the glue can't fill. But what I will do is, as I was going to anyways, I'll print a triple ring that slides over the former nice and snug, and then I'll taper it so that it sits inside the curved portion of the spider roll or whatever, and then the one that fits a little bit snugger, I'll put on top. I'll put a spacer probably. I don't know actually if I will or not. I might put a spacer in between them. I mean, there'll be a spacer, but I mean, I might put a collar spacer in between them, as well as the spacer that's out around the perimeter. But that being said, that's for, I'll get that printing now, and then I'll work on the tinsel leads will be the next thing. So what we'll do is we'll mark this for tinsel leads, and then, so we have one right here, one right here, and then that, one right here, and one right here. So what I'm going to do is just line up my, or stitch the tinsel leads with where the nickel strips are. And that's where I'll put the tinsel leads. So what I'll basically do is, well, actually, I don't basically do it. I'm just going to do it. I will get a ruler. Where's my ruler? That's the problem with having an organized shop is you lose things and can't find them when you need them. What was I using that for? Just saw it recently. Well, delightful. How about instead I use this bar of copper? So what we're going to do is we're going to line up our two, and then we're going to draw a line on all the ridges, even though the stitching will actually go in the low spots. And then what we'll do is we'll drill some little teeny holes for the thread to go through. What I use is a product called Craft Floss. Now, the reason I use Craft Floss is because it's essentially like 15 pieces of thread all bundled together into one. And also, so instead of having to do like 30 loops around the tinsel lead, you can get away with 3, and it'll bond quite, it'll be strong enough to withstand all the motion and the stress of the flexing back and forth. And also comes in really pretty colors. Bright blues, reds, pinks, anything you want, really. You can buy it on Amazon, and it's cheap, or you can go to a local craft store. That's what I do. I buy them locally, but hey, whatever works. So anyway, there we go. What I've done here is I've drawn the 2 lines for the leads to get stitched to. It's going to be 2 on each side of each line. I'll drill holes staggered on either side of those so that I can loop the string through it. And then once I put the string on it and loop it and tie it, in this case it'll be tied underneath, I will put E6000 on top of it all over the holes. I'll basically flood these locations where the penetrations through the spider are located so that they seal them up so that there can't be any cracking or breaking or any knots coming undone. The string will basically be rubberized and held in place. So that is the next step. So I've drawn a second set of, I don't know if you can see that, second set of lines there and there on the side of the first 2, so I can drill on either side. This will be the top, so the leads will sit here on top of it, and then knotting will be underneath on the low point. So I'm going to use this to drill, and I'm going to drill them. These are all the holes we need for stitching. Fantastic. I'm gonna move the camera upstairs so I can sit down while I stitch, because standing up over my workbench while stitching leads is not gonna be pleasant. Not pleasant either. So we're just gonna wrap this video up. Those are the stitched leads for the 4-inch voice coil. I'm going to put some glue on the top and the bottom, some E6000. Glue it here somewhere. This one I probably have a better one. I did print a triple ring. It's a little bit small, so I'm printing a slightly larger one. But that'll be all included in the AW T15X Audiobahun build. So anyway, I'll just throw some glue on that. It's going to take 24 hours to cure, and then that will be it for the stitched leads. And then pretty basic stuff. So I can't really find the full tube of this stuff I got. I do have a new tube. Hopefully one of these isn't all dried up and I can get some glue out of it. This one's not looking particularly good. Maybe we'll see if we can't clean it out and get enough of glue to finish this. It's not looking good. Oh yeah, that'll work. Maybe work. Oh yeah, perfect. So what I'm doing with the glue is I'm not only sealing up the holes that I've drilled into the spider, but I'm also reinforcing the spring, and I will do the underside as well, but for this we'll just show the top and call it done, just because I want to be done with this video. So the last step is to glue the knots on the back, and of course the back sides of the holes, so that you don't have any separation with the spider. Again, like I say, I don't want the knots coming undone, so you trim the excess threads off after. They're not going to do anything problematic, but so there's the end result of the stitched leads with you can see the E6000s kind of pooling in the valleys there, sealing up the holes I drilled around the string. The string is also saturated with E6000, so it can wiggle a bit, it won't tear. It's reinforced both top and bottom, fits nicely over the voice coil. know if that's, you can sort of see it saturating the knots and stuff, so the knots can't come undone. I'll trim back the additional bits of string. I just leave them long before I glue them so that they don't come undone, or if they do come loose, that I can just tighten them, because there's lots of extra string on the end there. Anyway, that is a 8.5 by 4 dual stitched spider for the Audiobahun. I think I said it wrong earlier in the video. It's a AWX 15T, and I will be doing a video of putting this thing together and building the cone assembly. It is a beast. It is heavy and it's not in the best condition. You can see there's some like pitting on the frame. Anyway, that's another video. So you know, if you haven't already subscribed, subscribe, and check that video out when I post it, and I'll do the voice coil and the cone assembly and all that stuff for this one. So yeah.